They fight different with him than they do with anybody else because the consequences are so grave.
Everybody's talking about his power, about how big he is.
Once he gets his hands on these guys, they just go off.
Fight fans, welcome back.
But I'm gonna make him look like a fragile little kid.
When a fresh new fighter secures those first few emphatic victories,
Get me a stadium!
the critics, doubters, and unwanted attention act as a sign that you're doing something right.
You're taking everything I work for!
However, when you're steamrolling your way through the division and not hearing your name in post-fight interviews,
really nobody calls out Ngannou.
Who's going after Ngannou?
Not one hint of intimidation or anything like that.
the silence speaks even louder.
Call out a guy like Francis Ngannou seems crazy. Nobody calls out Francis Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou has arrived!
Here we look at opponents before and after facing Francis the Predator Ngannou.
West African, baby, that's 3!
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
I want my place in the division. I need some respect. I need some respect now. I deserve it.
I can't imagine there's a lot of guys with their hand in the air that want to step inside the cage with you. So
After just a handful of fights, displaying his size, strength, and punching power, it was inevitable that Ngannou would hit the biggest stage in mixed martial arts.
I love the fight. I know that I'm present when I enter inside the cage, and I know that this fight must be good for me.
After dismantling Luis Enrique in his UFC debut, Ngannou's next opponent would come just 4 months later against another UFC newcomer and huge prospect, Curtis Blades.
So you're fighting Francis Ngannou this Sunday. So what do you know about him as an opponent?
He's very heavy-handed. He moves well. He's athletic. I put a premium on that at heavyweight, so I know he's here for a reason. He's not a bum. I know that. It definitely ends with me winning. I know that, but how that's so hard to say. Like I said, at this level, you never know.
So. Mostly going to try to take me down, and at that point, I think the uppercut will come out.
Maybe I don't get a takedown until the third round. Whatever, I'm going to win the fight.
Despite having every right to be confident, Blades was drawn into a firefight that would only end one way.
The loss, I never lost before, and that rocked my world. I just couldn't do that again.
So. Dreaming bigger, people are taking notice of your talent right away, but you're still very early in your career. How fast do you want to rise up the ranks in the heavyweight division?
Step by step, but if there's any opportunity, make things faster, I will take it.
Either I don't want to lose because of an injury. That's how I lost my first fight.
So is that the Ngannou fight is why you went back someday?
Oh yeah, but we're going to develop. We're going to continue developing. But no, I do want that fight. Just not next.
These are the biggest, baddest dudes on the face of the planet Earth.
The next 18 months saw 3 more convincing wins for Francis as he put away Mihailovic, Hamilton, and Arlovsky, all inside 2 minutes.
I think he's the future. I don't know if we've ever had a heavyweight that's been as big as this guy is, as physically imposing and scary as this guy is.
And though nobody was particularly calling his name in post-fight interviews, it was instead the fans who were pressing to see Ngannou with a live top 10 opponent.
After a knockout like that, do you think other heavyweights might reconsider calling you out in the future?
And afterwards, we read your quote that you said Alistair Overeem or Junior Dos Santos might be good fights for you next.
Would you be interested in fighting Overeem in Rotterdam this summer?
Almost a year on, nearing the end of 2017, fans got their wish. As the Demolition Man, Alistair Overeem, stepped up for one last all-or-nothing crack at UFC Gold.
But he is a monster.
He's terrifying.
Rise up, big man! Alistair Overeem at home!
No, but this is like a legit guy. He's strong. You can see he's strong as an ox. He's motivated. He's willing to fight. I will be kind of his first big name test.
I mean, it's UFC. Everybody has a plan. Everybody's good everywhere, right?
Right. Everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face.
He's not Mike Tyson.
He is not. You don't buy that hype.
Nah. Oh, no. He's definitely not Mike Tyson.
Despite inconsistencies, the Dutchman was another freak of nature with insane punching power.
Who is not excited about this fight?
I have speed than Alistair. I'm strong than he, for sure.
But with that terrifying left uppercut in the first round, Francis proved he was legit.
There can be no doubt now.
What was the biggest learning lesson from that last one? Obviously some things went wrong, but the main thing is just keep going. The fight is for a reason. Fight is not quick.
This is the moment where Ngannou arrived, and people realized, like, holy
Ngannou's deadly undertones had pushed his name to the forefront as MMA's latest boogeyman.
The man that everyone is talking about right now, Francis Ngannou.
Sometimes a fight stands out and you go, whoa, when's that? When's that going to be? That sounds like one I wouldn't want to miss.
But next up was a man who wouldn't be foolish enough to stand and trade.
He wants to match you up with Stipe as soon as possible. When would you want that fight to happen?
As soon as possible, as he said.
One of the baddest heavyweight fights in a very, very long time.
This is not new territory for Miocic.
Is there a chance, you can't get into his head, but maybe he's, starting to believe his own hype a little bit?
I'm doing well. He's doing well. He's doing something right, and he's ready for the title. But like I said, as long as I'm here, no one's getting that belt. He's got great power. He's very athletic. He's a big heavyweight. He's definitely showing it, and that's why he's here.
But he know the guy that he's gonna fight. He know that he's gonna be the fight that he never had in his career.
Oh, big, strong guy. Hits hard. Just definitely a tough guy.
For me, I really believe that I'm the best.
Not one hint of intimidation or anything like that?
No, that's what I signed up for. I don't want to be intimidated with another man.
Don't lie, Stipe. Don't lie.
And with a gutsy game plan executed to perfection, Stipe managed to neutralize Ngannou's power, handing him his first UFC setback.
He's a tough dude, there's no question. He's got a great career out of him. He's a tough dude, but listen, man, I got that fighting spirit. I ain't gonna stop. I'm not the scariest. I'm the baddest.
You're the baddest. It's unquestionable.
Yeah, he was definitely strong. A lot stronger than I thought he was gonna be. I knew he was gonna be strong, but he kept the strength for a while.
He was tough than I thought. As I said before, knockout power never is not enough.
Derek Lewis is talking a bunch of shit about him. He called him an African booty scratcher.
African booty scratcher. Don't worry about him.
Sure. How hilarious is Derek Lewis?
One man who was gunning for Francis even before the Stipe loss would finally get his comeuppance.
Someone else who has been training there, Francis Ngannou.
Who's that? Hey, f that guy. I'll fight his ass after I fight Mark Hunt.
Do you feel like he's overhyped?
Come in and bang his ass up. Yeah, he's overhyped.
Derek Lewis was going after Ngannou when everybody else was scared to death of him.
Are you impressed by him?
No, I'm not impressed. No, it's too slow for me.
Teasing and goading him, Derek Lewis looked to further exploit the chinks in Ngannou's armor.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Even though he hasn't fought any of the top guys, he fought that old guy.
Although, with neither man willing to commit, it was a night to forget, as the Black Beast scraped an uninspiring points victory.
It was the worst heavyweight fight I've ever seen. It was the second lowest output fight ever.
I wasn't present in that fight, I was still in the learning process.
Cyril, I guess he's a good dude. Ngannou, on the other hand, he kissed my ass. He seemed like a dickhead 24/7.
Ngannou was the scariest guy on the planet. And yeah, it did turn out to be hype. And that isn't an insult, no one knew.
Two back-to-back losses now left Ngannou at a career crossroads. And who better to put the nail in the coffin than one former foe who is now firing on all cylinders.
I feel great. I just want to say one thing. I'm next in line for the belt. I'm next. It's my turn. It's my turn. Curtis Razor Ray.
I've grown. I've evolved as a fighter, and I don't believe he has. I'm better than him in every way.
So I think he's talented. Not really. Just to be honest, I don't think. He throws heavy and he throws fast, but that's about it.
Be able to give a better account of himself. This is a fantastic opportunity for him tonight.
He'd taken 4 wins in his last 12 months, but blades would fall short again following an enormous overhand right.
You've been in a hard time, but listen, man, I'm back. When you're a kid, you're watching movie, and then you want to be the character in the film, and today I'm the character in the film.
Looks like that you might see yourself as Francis a third time, and what difference would there be?
See myself winning. I just see myself taking him down like I did in our first fight, and this time landing heavy ground and pound.
If you want to be a great fighter, you have to face the greater one, and maybe be the greatest one later.
Opening 2019, Francis was straight in at the deep end in a double or bust showdown against a man widely considered as one of the best heavyweights of all time.
A legend returns to the octagon.
I love that match. And you know what? I normally win it.
Cain Velasquez returns home to the octagon after a 2-year layoff.
Francis Cane's an epic fight.
It's an epic fight.
Having this fight brought up to me, it's fight against somebody like Francis, who is very dangerous, who's very strong, powerful. I took that challenge head on.
For the first time since his UFC entrance, Ngannou would enter as underdog.
I'm gonna feed off all your energy tomorrow. It starts tomorrow on the way to the top.
Ready? Okay. Is it
Single leg, lower single
Kane
leg?
takes him down and then punches him in the face until it's over.
I don't think so.
No,
Sure.
Ngannou is fucking dangerous. You got to remember, he just fucked up Curtis Blades.
I totally forgot about that.
I didn't forget about it.
And the longer the fight goes, the best it goes in my favor.
But with a knee buckle, followed by a relentless flurry, the odds simply wouldn't matter.
He's older, man. It's tough to come back into this sport, especially against an animal like Francis Ngannou.
Taking that one step I did with my left foot, I just felt something pop. It just gave out on me. My knee gave out on me. I can't even believe that happened.
I don't care to be the underdog. I mean, I born as underdog. I used to. That's the story of my life. I mean, being underdog is not something we're going to surprise me.
I felt like he was ready to win this fight. You just cannot control some of the things that happen.
Francis clips you. It's nighty-night. I don't care who you are.
Velasquez never got a chance to show us what was left in the tank.
Now I know this guy has a lot of power. That's why everybody wants to see this fight.
But another man looking to put himself back into the mix, and another all-time great, was Junior Dos Santos.
Everybody's talking about his power, about how big he is, but I'm gonna make him look like a fragile little kid.
Skill-wise, I don't see that much of, ability, but I see a lot of power.
Francis Gane, JDS, late summer.
Oh no.
Oh no, for who?
What do you think?
JDS.
Yes. I also don't know that it's an ultra-competitive fight. I think that Junior likely wins every single round for however many rounds they
When
have.
I spoke to him, he said that he hopes to knock you out in the second round.
I don't worry about what round is it. What round is the opportunity comes at, I will take it.
No longer gun-shy in any way, shape, or form, in round 1, Francis made him miss and made him pay.
Connect the hand and it's done. One more victim. This division is dangerous, especially this guy. He's a little different.
At this point, trying to fight fire with fire against Francis was a terrible game plan.
They fight different with him than they do with anybody else because the consequences are so great.
However, that didn't deter the next man in line.
To call out a guy like Francis Ngannou seems crazy. Nobody calls out Francis Ngannou. That's nuts, my friend.
And I really want to fight this big scary guy, Francis Ngannou.
Sure, I want that fight. He's a big scary guy. He's the boogeyman of the heavyweight division.
With 10 wins in his last 10 professional contests, Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Like I mentioned, hopefully they have reinforced the octagon.
How do you see it going down?
I knock him out 100%. Don't blink. This Saturday, go in the octagon, knock Francis out, and then walk away and get my hands raised. He created a bomb in the octagon. He put me in here, locked the doors. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
Needless to say, the Predator caught him in the first 15 seconds and capitalized.
Looking back, do you have any sense of regret of taking that fight?
Regret? No. We know it was a big fight, a big challenge we're going to. And
In this level, we are all professional and we all have some tricks in our pocket. So
yeah, I hope he become champion. If you ask me to fight him tomorrow, I fight him again. I train to fight him again.
Another title shot. What do you need to do next, and who would you like to fight?
Just like that, Ngannou was again the scariest man in the division. And if none of those few fights quite settled any doubt,
Let's not get too crazy. I'm not sold on him yet.
redemption against Stipe would set the record straight.
that fight, I didn't do it well and I really want to fix it. this fight, this thing has to go back.
He says that he's more prepared for this fight. Do you feel a different energy from Francis this time? Do you think he was maybe overconfident?
Like if I would have told you a year ago, don't worry, Francis, everything's going to be okay. You'll turn it around. Do you have believed me that it would be like this exactly a year later?
Yes, I would have.
He's got the hunger, he's got the drive, he wants it. So yeah, he's definitely gotten better, he's definitely evolved, and I can see that.
234, the official weight.
Everyone said he was like unbeatable. They said he was a phenom. 1 in a million years, this guy comes along. Well, I beat him. I'm a man that's trying to take something that's mine, and I'm not giving it up. And then I'm never going to stop being motivated.
Many said the hype train would end when he was taken down. But a replenished, revitalized, and frighteningly well-rounded version of Francis proved otherwise.
Heavyweight champion of the world.
Head kicks, leg kicks, really good grappling. Scary.
Without even watching it, what did you do wrong in your opinion?
I let him dictate the pace. I let him do what he wanted. I hit him with that right, and I came, guns blazing in with my hands down, and here the left hook.
And you're going to meet Francis Ngannou for a title unification bout at some point down the road.
We did some sparring, so we knew each other already, so it's going to be crazy.
Francis has ridiculous power, but he doesn't have the movement that Gane has.
Let's be honest, you move like a middleweight at heavyweight. There's not a lot of people that can do that.
Two of the biggest men in the division, both made in laboratories, and both with enormous momentum behind them. At the start of 2022, we saw one of the biggest heavyweight matchups of all time. This time, it was Cyril Gane.
Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane. We finally get an opportunity to see this fight.
Yeah, I'm going to win after five rounds. Maybe before, with a submission or something.
You went on the floor or not?
I was on the floor.
He was knocked out probably, because he doesn't remember.
Entering as underdog with a torn ACL, Ngannou proved he is far from the one-dimensional slugger that shocked the world, and is still the best heavyweight in MMA today.
You have a good mindset. He's a warrior.
There is some talks that maybe Francis could leave the UFC now.
I don't want that. I want my rematch. I want to do this fight in second time.
Francis' UFC future now hangs in the balance, and whilst GOAT status in MMA seems to change just as often as a new champion arises, there's very little resistance left on the horizon. Who knows the next logical step? Gane, Lewis, Stipe, or Volkov? Or maybe, just maybe, John Bones Jones.
I'll be back next year. 2023 will be my best year yet.